World barley prices are well supported because of extremely tight stocks in the global market and strong demand from China for Aussie barley.
So this season, we feel it's very worthwhile having a post-harvest strategy in place. And today we want to talk about why we feel WA barley is the best place to have that exposure. So we're going to discuss the strategies we're going to be implementing in the strategic barley program and how we're going to capitalise on these market dynamics. Firstly, let's look at the global barley situation. And as you can see on the left, global barley stocks and the stocks to use ratio is historically quite tight. Even more importantly for the Australian market, major barley importer stocks such as Saudi, China and Japan are also the tightest in at least the last 15 years. So the global barley situation has a bit of a bullish tone to it. Australian exports remain strong, although given the production outlook for barley this year, we'll only have an exportable surplus to satisfy around 4 million tonnes of that traditional 5-year average export demand. Which means that the job of the market is to ration an extra 3 million tonnes of export demand with high prices, which is why we view that next year prices will remain supported. Looking at price spreads in Australia, from the major port zones through South Australia, the East Coast compared to WA. Firstly, in South Australia, feed barley prices in Adelaide and Port Lincoln traditionally trade 30 to 40 under the Kwinana market in WA. They're now currently trading $30 over. Feed barley prices in Victoria are trading around $90 over. And feed barley prices throughout the ports of New South Wales are trading around 120, even up to 130 over the WA barley market. This means that the East Coast and SA barley markets will struggle to rally without the WA barley market rallying first, which is why we want to reposition stock into the WA market. Looking at barley spreads, WA is competitive into the East Coast domestic market. It's also competitive into China, and based on the last Saudi tender, the WA barley price is really only around $15 to $20 a tonne from working into that market. Malt 1 spreads are quite attractive. We are facilitating grade swapping again this year in our strategic barley program. This means your Malt 1 premium will be locked in up front and you'll be indexed against feed barley in WA post-harvest in our strategic barley program. 100% of our tonnes we contract into the strategic barley program in SA and the East Coast will be sold and replaced with feed barley in WA to participate in that market post-harvest. And the big clincher for us is the fact that CBH do not charge storage in WA. Based on our fundamental analysis over the past few years, we've been big advocates of not selling all your barley at harvest, even though there have been historically strong prices at harvest. And as a result, the returns in our strategic barley program have been quite impressive, and we look forward to implementing this strategy on your behalf again this season. So in summary, we're friendly global barley prices. And the reason we feel that the best place to maintain post-harvest exposure is in WA barley is the fact that it is pricing into the East Coast domestic market. It's competitive into China and not far away from working into Saudi. And the fact that over in WA, CBH do not charge any storage costs for grain carried post-harvest.
A very high conviction strategy owning WA barley in its own right, or else selling SA and East Coast and replacing in WA. And this is a key strategy we'll be facilitating in the strategic barley program this year.